The Progressive People's Party has been blaming the NDC for Iyoko's questioning of their funding of their political activities. But the NDC says they cannot be bothered.
Why the deliberate application of selective injustice? When the EC made the mistake of issuing a receipt of 1,700 Ghana cedis to the party rather than the 1.7 million Ghana cedis paid as filing fees, did this not warrant Iyoko's investigation? Has Iyoko now realized that they have a job to do?
I believe that we are a very serious country and we must make our politics sound a bit more serious. The NDC is very serious and very focused and will remain so.
The PPP and other political parties have been under pressure since their disqualification by the EC to participate in the 2016 elections. But the PPP is questioning the reasons for the EC disqualifying it. It went to court today, and today also went to Iyoko to answer questions of how they're funding their political activities. We can listen to Vice Presidential Candidate of the PPP, Bridget Jowanuku.
We wish to state that Dr. Endom is a law-abiding citizen who will not do anything to jeopardize the peace and stability of this country. As a party, we support Betty Williams' saying that non-violence is not the weapon of the weak, it is the weapon of the strong. We woke up today to be greeted with a ridiculous front-page publication in the Daily Graphic that the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Iyoko, has given our flag bearer, Dr. Papa Kwesi Ndom, up to Wednesday, October 26, 2016, to explain the source of the 1.7 million Ghana cedis that was paid as filing fees to the Electoral Commission on behalf of the party's parliamentary candidates. We are extremely disappointed in this Machiavellian tactics of a state-sponsored institution to attempt to disgrace Dr. Endom in such an unfortunate manner. The PPP is a law-abiding political party, and we are always guided by the Political Parties Law Act 574, Section 1, which says the political party shall within 6 months from 31st December of each year file with the Commission A, returns in the form specified by the Commission indicating I, the state of its accounts, II, the sources of its funds, III, membership dues paid, IV, contributions or donations in cash or kind, V, the properties of the party and time of acquisition, and VI, such other particulars as the Commission may reasonably require, and B, audited accounts of the party for the year. This is 6 months from 31st December each year. The party has complied with this law and submitted the necessary documents as required by law since 20th May 2016, of which the EC acknowledged receipt. We will submit our next source of funding and any other documentation required to the EC by June 2017 as required by law. We are surprised at the behavior of Iyoko, an institution which is supposed to be, and I quote, a specialized agency to monitor and investigate economic and organized crime, and on the authority of the Attorney General to prosecute these offenses, to recover the proceeds of crime and provide for related matters. Being used, unquote, and this institution is being used for intimidating political opponents. Where is the fairness in this act by Iyoko? What crime has Dr. Papa Kwesi Ndom committed for him to be crucified in such a manner? If Iyoko wants Ghanaians to take them seriously, why are they not investigating all the other presidential candidates who have managed to pay their filing fees well in excess of what the PPP has paid? Why the deliberate application of selective injustice? When the EC made the mistake of issuing a receipt of 1,700 Ghana cedis to the party rather than the 1.7 million Ghana cedis paid as filing fees, did this not warrant Iyoko's investigation? Has Iyoko now realized that they have a job to do?
Meanwhile, the PPP's policy advisor, Kofi Assamoah has been calling on the president to call the IOCO to order. But the NDC's national organizer, Kofi Adams, says the NDC or the president will not call IOCO to order. IOCO will be allowed to do its work.
I believe that we are a very serious country and we must make our politics sound a bit more serious. The NDC is very serious and very focused and will remain so. We will not control any state institution, whether we don't intend to control any state institution, we don't intend to influence their way of working. And so President Mahama cannot call them to order yesterday, he cannot call them to order today, neither can he call them to order tomorrow. They are doing their independent job. If PPP feels that they have nothing to hide, I believe that they should just go and tell them what it is that they're but hiding and accusing others for doing what it is that they know they have no hand in. Sorry to say, there are more serious things to do.
Joining me in the studio now is William Dowokpo. He is PPP parliamentary candidate for the Ayawaso-Wuogon constituency. Welcome on today's big story. The PPP is accusing the NDC, but it's the IOCO that is questioning your funding of political activities. Your frustration should go to IOCO, not the NDC.
Well, thank you very much. A series of things have happened that have led us to this conclusion that there is some hand somewhere, a group of people that have orchestrated this frustration to ultimately deny our flag bearer the opportunity to contest in the 2016 presidential race.
Right.
Now, it started with the EC being selective in picking our mistake and deciding to disqualify us upfront, without even looking into the matter. Following that, EC alleged that some criminality had taken place, so they reported the matter to the police. The police invited the person involved, and our national leaders made sure that the person involved reported himself to the police. They took his statement and everything else. Then all of a sudden, we heard on the airwaves that our presidential candidate, among others, had been invited to the police CID to explain themselves.
Right.
Again, we saw some manipulative hand in there. Then, even before settling that, this morning we woke up to this front page story in the state-owned Daily Graphic, saying that Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum and another are being requested by the EOCO to come and explain how he in particular got 1.7 million cedis to pay filing fees for himself and parliamentary candidates. I mean, we find that and many others put together as this orchestration aimed at excluding our presidential candidate.
Do you have evidence on all of these that you're citing to blame the NDC for?
Well, I have put the evidence out there a while ago that the EC, for instance, started by being selective. They were supposed to draw our attention to errors in our forms.
But the EC doesn't work for the NDC. It's an independent body.
Well, hold it. These are state institutions that have done a series of things that we believe are being orchestrated by the powers that be to make sure that our presidential candidate is excluded. So we have stated our position, but that's not the end of it. We are going to go through the legal processes to make sure that our presidential candidate has the right.
Let me have you hold for a second and speak with Dr. Alidu Seidu, who is a political science lecturer at the University of Ghana, Lagos. Good evening to you. We're grateful for your time on today's big story.
Good evening, Aisha.
The PPP has been in series of crises. First, it was disqualified by the EC from partaking in the 2016 elections. Now, the IOCO is inviting them to answer how they got some amount of money to fuel their political activities. How does all of these come across to you?
Yeah, I think it is high time our institutions started working. And if you look at what the EOCO is doing, I think it falls within their legal mandate to invite political parties or individuals or groups that they think have acquired monies in a way that may allegedly be illicit. And you know, one of the serious things we have in this country is the state funding political parties. In representative democracies, political parties that represent the people, and they become the vehicle through which people participate and govern the country.
Right.
So it is part of the function of the EC to make sure that political parties declare their source of funds before they even go and contest an election. So if the EC fails to do that or is unable to do that, the EOCO have rights where it assumes that people might have acquired money in a manner that is not legal, then they have the right to investigate. My concern is, not even concern, I think this investigation is likely going to serve two purposes. One, it is going to clear the air as to whether the PPP and then the APC source of monies that they have used to finance their campaign or the filing fees of their parliamentary candidates are legal or illicit.
Right.
If these parties put themselves forward, provide all the needed documents and clear the air, then they are exonerated of that allegation. But if they fail to do that, that allegation will keep hanging on their neck. So this is an exercise that's meant to clear the air, one. And two, it is also meant to investigate if it is believed that the laws of this land is breached, the appropriate punishment will be exacted. And that will serve as a deterrent moving forward for people to know that if you acquire resources in a manner that is alleged to be illegal and it is proven that it is actually illegal, the state can investigate you and can punish you if that is true. So I think it is within their legal mandate, and I believe the PPP, it is an allegation, it's not factually verified. So the PPP have the chance to prove and clear the air that whatever they are doing is within the confines of the law.
Now, the PPP is blaming the ruling NDC of being behind all of these and giving series of reasons for that. I mean, my question is that possible? Why would the NDC be interested in any political party?
I think, I don't know whether they can prove that, but the issue is that because people believe the EOCO is a state institution, and maybe the director or chairman of that particular institution is appointed by the executive.
Right.
People can assume that the executive may likely manipulate these institutions to serve their political interests. But the case now is, the PPP as it stands now is out of the presidential race. And I don't see why the NDC would direct all their energy to attacking the PPP if they could do that to attack the NPP, which is their very major competitive political party. So I'll assume that if the NEC has an interest to attack a political party that will lead to victory, it will better be directed towards the NPP and not the PPP, which is technically out of the presidential race for now.
Right, but finally, the PPP, and it's not only the PPP, even the APC is saying same that the EOCO is not treating them fairly because they feel other political parties should also be questioned how they're fueling their campaigns. Do you think this is a genuine concern?
Yeah, yes and no, because if they, I don't know the reason why they specifically invited these two political parties. But I think maybe if they have some reasons to believe that they have acquired resources in a manner that is against the laws of this country, then the invitation will be extended to only them.
Right.
But if they also believe that these two political parties, if they believe that there are other political parties that are funding their campaign in a way that is against the laws of this land, they can equally report them to the EOCO. And if they fail to invite them, then we can now conclude that they are being selective in the application of the law. But as it stands now, if they don't have reasons to believe that other political parties have acquired resources in a manner that's against the laws of this land, then there's no need for them to invite them. But if it is proven beyond all reasonable doubt, or if people have reasons to believe that other political parties have acted in manners that is against the law,
right,
they can report them, and then the EOCO will invite them. But if they don't do that, then we'll all agree that they have been selected.
Right. Many thanks to you, Dr. Ali Dusseidu. We're extremely grateful for your time on today's big story. I'm coming back to you, Mr. William Dorkpo.
Yeah.
Are you not looking for solutions to this problem too far than closer? It may be closer to you than blaming others.
Well, let me assure Dr. Ali Dusseidu and our viewers out there that certainly investigations will be conducted, but the PPP will be exonerated because we have not done anything wrong. We have not broken any law,
you are very positive.
Whatsoever. We just feel that there is a hand somewhere that is working, to exclude us. And again, let me assure Dr. Halidu that the PPP is not out of the race until we have exhausted all the legal, channels and opportunities available to us.
Right.
And let me add that we were the first political party that provided our audited accounts to the EC. Right. We are governed by a political party's law. And when the EC served notice and gave us the deadline of 31st May 2016, we were the first to meet that deadline. As of the close of 31st May 2016, the NDC and the NPP had not done so. Right. And if the EC was going to apply the law to the latter, the NDC and the NPP would be outside the selected candidates by now. Those are the pieces of evidence that we have put together, which is convincing us that the EC is being selective and, picking on the PPP in particular, because we believe that we are going to disturb the, status quo.
Right.
Moving forward, now you have this morning, Daily Graphic is quoting a letter that the EOCO is alleged to have issued to our flag bearer.
Right.
Our flag bearer, as of this afternoon, when we held the press conference, had not received that letter. So how come Daily Graphic got it and put it on the front page when the person who is at the center of the issue had not cited the letter?
Right.
I mean, when you put all these things together, okay, common sense will tell you that there's a hand somewhere that is trying to exclude you. So we still stand by our suspicion that the state is behind this, because in our estimation of things, there's going to be, regime change. And I believe that some people, or we believe that some people do not want that to happen. Right. And that is why they are engaging in this exclusionary status. But fortunately, we are governed by laws, and we are very confident that the law courts will settle this matter, and will find our presidential candidate on the ballot paper for the presidential race.
So, so what are you going to do with EOCO now? How did it go?
Well, since they decided to go public, we decided to go public.
Right.
So, as a state institution, we have always maintained that we are a law-abiding, political party, individually and collectively. So, if we cite the letter, we are going to, of course, flag bearer is going to respond to it. But the exclusion by the EC, that one too, we are fighting it at the law courts. So on all fronts, we are going to work within the framework of the law to assert our rights.
But you went to the EOCO office today. What was the outcome?
I have no idea. I have no idea, because as of 1 o'clock when we were holding the press conference, the information I got was that Dr. Indum had not even cited the letter. Letter. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. So let's see how the court issue has also fared. Where are we now?
Right. Tomorrow we would go to court, and we are not talking about the court issues yet, because we have left that to our lawyers to deal with. So tomorrow we would go, and then I believe that whatever happens, the media will also get to know.
We'll get to know, right. So we can also listen to Asan Ayariga, who is the flag bearer of the APC, because the PPP is not in this alone. The APC's Hassan Ayarga has also been invited to also explain or to answer questions from Yoko, how he's been able to raise some amount of money to fund his campaigns. We can listen to his response to that.
They've heard me on social media platform saying that I've spent over $6 million in procurement of cars and other stuff. They want to know the source of the amount of money I mentioned. But my problem is that why would Yoko write to only APC and PPP? There are so many other political parties in this country that have spend more than the APC and the PPP. Why the APC alone and the PPP? Is it that Yoko is interested in APC and PPP alone, and they are not interested in NDC, MPP, and many other political parties? Please. And in any case, if they write to me, I respond. How come you go on air and tell the whole world? Because I had my letter on Saturday. Saturday, I came home, letter was there. So how come early morning, when I'm supposed to respond to them, the whole world knows about it? And they call themselves Yoko. With due respect to their institution, they should learn how to follow procedures. Because if you want to investigate people, do the right thing. Investigate all the political parties. Why do you streamline it to two? Is there anything interest of the two alone? Of interest to you just because these two political parties are progressive? I think that our laws should work without fear or favor and must be applied.
So that was APC's presidential aspirant, who was also disqualified by the EC, but who says he's challenging it in court, and he's not happy with the issue with Yoko inviting him to answer questions, and he's also saying that he's not been treated fairly, same as the PPP. But your presidential candidate says he's not giving up. He feels he's still in the race, like you rightly pointed out, that you'll be exonerated at the end of all these cases. How has your campaign fared so far?
Well, we are campaigning on all fronts. We believe that elections are won at the polling stations, so every constituency is, running their campaign, and the presidential candidate is supporting each and every parliamentary candidate to, win the hearts and minds of the people of Ghana, so that for the first time we will be able to break the status quo and break the monopoly and have a PPP administration in place for the transformational development of this country. We believe that we have made a lot of inroads since we arrived on the scene February 2012. We have not gone to sleep. We have been very hot, engaging on the policy issues. We are the only party that is talking about reforms that will happen because of transformation that will happen because of reforms.
Right.
We want to separate the Attorney General's office from the Ministry of Justice. That's the surest way of fighting corruption.
Right.
We want to ensure that members of parliament do not serve in the executive.
Right.
Some people don't want that. We want MMDCEs to be elected. Some people don't want that. So we are a great force. Right. Although we are the third force, we are a small party in quote, but what we are talking about, our agenda is going to disturb the status quo. And the powers that be, right now we have evidence, given what we have seen, they're picking on us. And let me just say, by the way, that the fact that we are not alone in this EOCO thing does not mean that EOCO is being fair or there's somebody else involved.
Right.
We believe that we are the target. And so we are going to go through due process of law to clear our name. And politically, like they decided to put it in the Daily Graphic, we also decided to hold a press conference to express our opinion and our feelings about development so far. We must call on all the peace-loving, peace-promoting institutions not to wait for our rights to be trampled on in this manner. And then when we get to the end of the road, they come and begin to talk about peace. Peace begins even before the elections and the processes. For all emerging democracies, there's nothing like exclusion, especially when you are going to exclude others through laws that you are not applying evenly. The EC is wrong, the EC is erred, the police is wrong, EOCO is wrong, and these are the little exclusionist things that create problems for a nation that wants to establish, democracy. And let me also say that some of the experts that I'm hearing, some of the resource persons, they do not really understand the issues yet. And so they say things that, would be true in broad terms, but when you put it in context, would not necessarily be true. So I will plead with the experts, especially our academics, to listen to our democracy. It must not happen to the PPP. We don't wish it to happen to anybody else. But if we sit down and watch PPP suffer it, tomorrow it may be NPP, and who knows, it may be NDC itself in another regime. So let us stop it now and have a clean and even playing field for all political parties that are capable and who want to govern this country.
We wish the PPP all the best in all of this. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, William Dowokpo, for his MPP's
PPP parliamentary candidate for
Ayawaso Wogon constituency. This is today's big story. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Have a great evening.